Oh my god. Y'all are playing with me. Y'all are seriously playing with me. Y'all. Woo. This episode was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. With a lot of twists and turns, too. Because, like, wow. That was a huge twist. That was really a huge twist. Okay. What's up, everyone? It's Jay Lassie here. I am back with a review for American Horror Stories, season 2, episode 3, Drive. And this episode was pretty interesting. It was. Bella Thorne was in this episode, and I feel like this one could have been a movie. To be quite honest, this would have been a cool movie to watch because, like, it involves, like, it kind of gives me, like, I'm not gonna lie, in a way, kind of give me, like, Get Out vibes from the movie Get Out. I'm not gonna really lie about that. And also, it kind of, like, reminds you of, like, American Horror Story a little bit, to an extent. Anyway, this episode is pretty good. It starts off with Bella Thorne character and her friend partying, and they're having a good time. And then she ended up meeting this guy, and they ended up, like, hitting it off and, going out the club and going to their area and doing what they do. He thinking that, oh yeah, she was gonna, like, call him back, give him her number, but really, she was like, no, get out, bye. Get out my car. And she continued to, like, drive off, and then she trying to drive home. Then you see this person with this Jeep flashing, their lights at her. And then ramming her. Like, we were like, at first I'm kind of like, well, is he trying to, like, go after her? But then, like, I thought about it. And now I'm like, oh my gosh. It reminds me of that legend where, if someone is, not legend, but, like, is also real too. Because if you're in the car and someone is driving behind you and, like, they see someone in the car, like someone who is planning on trying to kill you or trying to, like, pop their head up to try to, like, hurt you or kill you in that manner of being in the backseat of the car, and the person behind you sees them in the back seat, they would usually blink their headlights and honk their horn, and then hit the back of the car to let you know and try to warn you that someone is really behind you in their back seat. And she was like, screw off. And then she, like, lost him, so she thought. And she went back to her house, And then, like, we find out that, once she got in, at first, when I saw this other guy, Chaz, I thought it was the brother or something like that. But then I find out, like we all find out, it was really her husband, and they really have an open relationship. So that's why, he's not really mad at her, going out to clubs and getting other people. Whatever. And he's trying, like, talk to her. He's trying, like, work everything out and try, like, at least, have her, like, basically try to have time with her. And she's like, listen, I don't want to do it. So he kind of, like, has a problem with that because he was like, well, listen, I'm okay with it, but you said I will be the first primary partner, not, like, the secondary partner. And let's be real, if you're in those type of relationships, mostly you're not going to be the first partner. They're going to make you, like, the last partner ever. They're going to have their fun, then, like, yeah. So anyway, that's his problem. He's mad that, like, he was like, well, hey, I'm not mad at you for having it, but, like, my thing is, you're not making me first. You're making me the secondary or, like, the third. Like, come on, I want, at least, be able to, like, have time with you. And that, she goes to sleep. Then we see that she hear this noise, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. So she's trying to look and go down in the windows, trying to see what's going on, see if they're locked, and try to make sure everything is locked and secure. Then like, Chaz, her husband, comes down saying, what's going on? Why are you down here? She's like, well, I thought I heard a noise. Maybe I was asleep and I probably heard them. She's not telling them about the Jeep. But before they went to bed, he did tell her, like, you need to be careful because I heard on the news that many people are going missing. And you got to be careful. And even her friend who she ditched in the club basically told her that, like, hey, you need to be careful. You need to be careful because... And that's when she told Bella's character about the legend. About, like, how when someone is behind you and they see someone in your back seat, they blink their lights, honk their horn, rear end your car, kind of bump your car. I don't want to say rear end, but like they bump your car, let you know someone's in your back seat to basically warn you. She basically, tell the story about how this woman is going home from work, how she didn't know that someone was behind her, not behind. Well, yeah, behind her in the backseat of her car, and someone who was driving behind her saw it, like a truck driver kind of saw it, and then he flashed his lights, honked his horn, bumped the back of her car, and she thinks someone's trying to, like, run her off the road or try to kill her in that manner. So she outdrives him and drives back to where she was going. And then the next day, her friends end up finding her dead and found her head outside the car. You know how those old-fashioned cars is? Those, like, 50 type of cars in the 50s where it has that thing, like the metal logo thing on the top of the... I don't know how to describe it. Like, that little... That's where her head was. They put her head right on top on the hood. Like spike thing on the hood that the cars in the 50s have. Bam, her head was right there. Anyway, so she was like, that ain't gonna be me. Guess what? I'm still here. Hello, I'm still here. So basically, she ain't letting the friend know, but she is afraid, though. In a sense. So she thought the person in the Jeep was really after her. And this is where we're gonna see how the story turns out. So she's going to the party again. She's going to party at the club again. And then, like, she ended up, leaving the friend again. And, like, she was like, she took someone else. And, like, remember the friend told her before, don't have no weird people in your car. And then, she wasn't going to listen. She found a random woman that she ended up hanging off with and took her to the car. And she's having her good time with the woman. And then, like, the friend ended up seeing them. And she was like, what's going on? We had an agreement. You said that you was going to have no strange people. She was like, no, that's what Belle was like. No, you said that I was going to have no strange men in my car. She's not a man. She's a woman, trying to, like, change the situation. And then, like, and the friend was like, you know what? Maybe I could see your husband's point because you're doing too much. You're weird and you're a freak. Goodbye. I'm done with you. Bye. And that's when Bella go back in the club and she's having her fun. Then she sees the husband and she was like, well, what are you doing here? Why are you following me? He was like, I'm not following you. That's when he broke down and, like, said, yeah, I was following you. But I was trying to, like, look out for you, see, like, to make sure that you are okay. And then, like, she made him leave. And he was like, you know what, I'm done. And that's what it was. He pretty much was done with it anyway. He was done with her anyway because he kind of felt unwanted anyway. I'm like, okay, he really did feel unwanted. He was like, you know what, eventually, when she got home, he basically told her, like, listen, this ain't gonna work. And as he was telling her that, she ended up finding information about the dude that she had before in the car, which worked at this, like, place where they sell, like, items like kitchenware and stuff like that. So she ended up finding where he worked. The guy that she had in the first scene of the episode, she found out where he worked, and then, like, she later, like, went to the place. But let's talk about right here where we at. So the husband basically was like, I'm not doing this anymore with you. We're done. we could, like, I feel like all we doing is sharing the mortgage, and, like, come on, I feel like I'm second. I feel like I'm not, the number one, like we agreed on. And yeah, I'm not doing this with you. I'm gonna think about buying me an apartment or something like that, and we're gonna, split the mortgage still. But I'm not doing this with you anymore. So she was like, well, wait, that's not what I mean. Then he was like, he was pretty much done, and, like, just walked away. Like, so she found out the information that she found about the guy in scene 1, and basically, I'm like, okay. So basically, he did work at the place that she found out that he worked at. She went there and she tried to act like she buying stuff, and then, like, what happened was, I forgot. Wait, I forgot. I'm not editing this out. I am not editing this voice bite out. Forget about it. I'm not editing it out. Nah. She ran into him again, but with the Jeep. That's how she found the license plate to track him and find out who he is and where he worked. Because he took some other girl home too. He took another girl home, and as they were driving, she saw it and rammed him because she thought that he was after her. So she was trying to, like, get him off the road and try to make sure that the girl was safe in a way, but he ended up taking a detour down there. And then she found out where he worked, found out where he lived. So what happened was, she went to his house, snuck in his house actually, trying to find some info, to see, like, what was really going on. And that's when he ended up catching her, like, what are you doing in my house? And that's when she had the knife. But she ended up having this drug that paralyzed animals, and she nicked them in the neck with it. And that's when we find out that the reason why all these men and these women going missing is because, get this, the person that's behind it, it was Bella and the husband the whole entire time. It was them the whole entire time. They were the ones that was taking the men and women, because it was some men that went missing, which I think it was Bella that was doing it, taking the men, acting like she's having a good time with them, and then, like, nicking them. Because, like, notice how, they were like, well, maybe, we could, like, have a date or something like that. And she was like, no. And then, like, as, they were trying to be difficult, she nicked them and then tied them up, took them home, tortured them, killed them, had the husband bury them, move right along. I feel like the husband probably took some of the women and had a good time with the women, and then paralyzed the women, tortured the women, killed the women, and buried them. So I think, like, it was 50-50. And she was really torturing this guy. And then that's when she was explaining to him what really happened. Concerning, like, how she basically had this other dude in the car, and she was driving away to try to go home to torture this dude. And what she was telling the dude from earlier was that guy that you would see him hopping up, he was really tied up trying to get someone's attention. And then that's when, she was, like, telling the dude that was tied up to stay down. And that's when she was explaining to him that, no, I know it was someone in my car because I tied him up, and he kept poking his head up to try to, like, get help, but no. And then she ended up getting this, like, this blade that kind of, like, looked like a pick. It ended up stabbing his leg. Because she was like, you know what? You caused $700 damage to my car. And stabbed him in the leg. Stabbed him up really bad. Like, she was really stabbing him up. Then she ended up cutting his fingers. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then she was like, this is wrong. And then literally, I'm like, you didn't even put the knife down. Oh, before she did that, she basically was telling a story about how she wasn't, how she didn't feel like she was pretty because she had this mark on her face. Pretty much she had like a birthmark on her face, and then she was bullied because of it. And she's like, because of winners like you who bullied me. And then like, she had this like long, like, it was like a machete. And she placed that machete on his head like, it like cut the white meat open. She literally cut the white meat open and just walked away. I'm like, anyway, she was like, well, she was trying to tell the husband like, wait a minute, I get it now. Pretty much, we could do it together. I didn't see it like, I didn't, I want to like try it again. I want to start over. I want to, do this together. It could be more than you just bury the bodies. But before then, he was talking about how he gonna bury the body and stuff like that. She was like, it could be more than you just bury the bodies. We could do it together. And then that's what happened. And what made it more crazier and what went off at the end was, that best friend that she had that she always ditches and she fell out with? Tell me why they ended up kidnapping her and getting ready to like torture and kill her. I'm like, what? They got the best friend in the torture room and about to torture her and kill her next. I'm like, ain't that something? Ain't that something? Like, seriously, I'm like, get out of here. This is a cliffhanger that I did not expect. Like, this some cliffhanger right here. Anyway, I enjoyed the episode thoroughly. This episode was a twist, and I can't wait to like next episode. Guys, I am so sorry that I am late with this episode. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even know that season 2 was on. I basically saw some previews for it because I've never seen season 1, but I've seen some clips of season 1, and I do personally believe that season 2 is more better than season 1. I did see an episode 2 of season 1, and I kind of really wasn't into it like that, but season 2 is really good so far. Hulu's doing good. Hulu, is doing better. I think FX had season 1. I think, tell me guys below, did FX have season 1 and Hulu's had season 2? Because if Hulu has season 2, I think they should stick to Hulu writing the scripts and so on. I don't know. Let me know because Hulu is doing a good job. And I heard that the OG American Horror Story supposed to come back for season 11. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait. Until American Horror Story season 11 come on. Oh my goodness. I am definitely reviewing that. Y'all. I'm bye. Bye, y'all. I'm out. Bye.